again. All right. What do I need to know to be a UI UX designer? What are the skills that is expected from me, from any company that wants to hire me, or from anybody that wants to give me a project? So, how can I plan for the market? What are the international job opportunities where you can get employed international and get paid in dollar? So how to get started on all these things? These are many more than what you'll be expecting in the course of this training. So let's go ahead. So what is UI UX? For my own definition here, they are UI UX is actually two things. It is user interface and user experience. Now, my definition here says UX design refers to the term user experience design, while UI stands for user interface design. All right, both elements are crucial to a product and they work closely together. So UI UX refers to it has to do with both physical and digital products. No, woman first approach to the product design. The US guy, so the US guy needs to know what are the things, what are the customers' experience when using the product. No, they focus fully on the experience from the first user experience on your application to the last user experience. How do they feel when they open each page of your application, your design of your application of your product? So it's the UX guy that creates the structural design solution to pinpoint that users encounter all the challenges that users can encounter whenever they are using your app, either a mobile app or a web app. But these days, UX is most common because we are in the mobile age and everything is going mobile right now. So everybody is focusing on building mobile apps. UX and UI design are not limited to mobile apps. It's cut across all spaces of a project. Let's say, for example, I'm building an application that works on a Windows system or a Mac system. So we still have some team called the US guy that makes sure that your experience about that project is unique. For example, I would like to talk about some operating system we've had in the past. Uh, we talk about Windows 7, and we talk about Windows 8, then we will talk about Windows 10. Now, the US team that works on Windows 7, they are one of the best great teams that Microsoft have ever used. But when it gets to Windows 8, it was one of the worst experience that people don't really want to work with because there are a lot of issues about Windows 8. And if you have ever used Windows 7 and you have ever used Windows 8 and you have ever used Windows 10, you will find out, you can do the research yourself, you will find out that the time frame between the time Windows 8 was released and the time Windows 10 was released was very, very short. Similar thing happened after Windows XP. We have Windows Vista, then we have Windows 7. Um, in the course of the week, I think yesterday we were deliberating the US class, and I was giving that specific example. Okay, this is what is going on. That when a product doesn't last, they should find out. They should query the UX team that works on the project. And that is why in big organization, the US guy get more pay. They get good amount of payment. And as in they are well paid compared to the UI. Not that the UI guy is not needed in any organization or in any firm, but the fact still remains that the success of any product or any project relies heavily on the UX, on the US team. What it simply means is that now when the US team of a project no has done a good work, then that is when you can see whatever the user interface there is doing. So the US focus on the full experience from user space contact to the lab. They create the structural design solution to pinpoint that user encounter anywhere along the journey with a product. So that's on the UX. And what's the result? The product that allow user with their effectiveness. That's all you need to know about the UX. Now UI is the guy that sits around with system and works on what um, the structured design that the US guy has given. It doesn't have anything much to do with the customer, because it's like it's the guy that does all the arrangement of all the buttons, all the pictures, all the text, and all of that. So with the help of the US guy, it will be able to do something that is user appealing. So the US guy, the UI guy is the guy that works digitally on a product using any of the software for the UI UX. Now, the facially pinpoint that allows it focus on the visual pinpoint that allow user to interact with the product. Like for example, if user want to create a registration page, they need to click on a button. No, when they click on the button, what next? What happens? No, it's the UI guy that does it combination of typography, the color palette, the buttons, animation, and imagery. So the result is to produce a product that delights users artistically. So let's go ahead and let's move. So now that we understand that UI UX are actually two roles in big organization, we also need to find out because when a product is launched, it's a combination of a lot of work, a lot of UI guy, the project manager, the front end guy, the back end guy, the pen tester, the penetration tester that tests for the errors, the bugs, then and tests it for the errors and reveal it back to the guys that do the back end work and all of that. So that's the combination of it because before a product is launched. Now let's go over and let's move ahead to the next thing. So the UI UX versus the UI. Now the US guy focus on competitors analysis. The US guy carry out customers analysis and users research. Research, make some research, the product structure and the strategy. He works on the content development, prototyping and wireframing, testing and iteration, and coordinate with the UI designer. No, they always work hand in hand, and that's why they say the UI and the US guy, the UI and the US guy. So the US guy also coordinates developers, coordinate with the developers to make sure that what the UI guys have done um, is what the developers, either the front end or the back end developer, is releasing out. So they carry out the analysis and the iteration. So both work hand in hand for design thinking. So the UI guy work hand in hand to be aware of users' needs. And all the goals is to provide a product that delights user. Because if you are building a product and the product does not delight the user, it's a waste product. So it's the US guy, the UI guy that understand the understanding of research, understand research, the US guy is research guy. Then the customer analysis, the design, the research, and branding and graphics development. No, it's the UI guy that does the branding and graphics development. The UI guide and storyline, user guides and storyline, the UI prototyping, no, interactions and animation, adaptations to all device screens, implementation with developer. So those are the things. Now, What's the primary goal of a UI and UX designer is to create a product that is both functional and attractive, and that will appeal to a user of all level of expertise. Now, let's talk about the skills to acquire. Like I said, the session will not be long. These are the main three skills that you may need to acquire. These are the main three tools, actually. There are other tools, but the most popular ones, we have the Figma, we have the SD, and we have the Sketch. The Figma is a tool that you can use both. It's an online tool that you can use on Mac OS and you can use on Windows. The same thing with XD, but Sketch is particularly for Mac. So if you are using Figma, but the one to concentrate much more right now, the one we focus much more on is the Figma. The reason is that Figma has a large community where you can get support, where you can copy and paste, where a lot of things are there, where you can see a lot of plugins. Although SD also has a lot of plugins, but the support for Figma and the request on the global space now, it's on the increase. So we were talking about Figma all through the course, all through the session. So the area of focus, like I said, you have to focus on Figma. So let me quickly show you something on Figma. Um, let me show you something on Figma. There are a lot of things you can learn in Figma. Okay, I'm going to open my Figma file. Just a second. Just a second. So if you are you can get started by opening your figma.com, and I want to show us something on the community, from the community. So okay, let me share my screen right away. Let me share my screen. All right. If you are new to Figma or you have been a designer for the past few months or few years, these are some of the things you need to know when it comes to Figma. Figma is an open core, it's a free, it's not a free because it has a paid feature as well. When it comes to UI UX, they have both the paid feature and the free feature. With the free feature, with the hope that when you have all the skills, with the hope that when you have all the skills, so you can open your Figma community, figma.com/community. All right. So we have the Figma community. Okay, this is a Spotify UI. No, this is a UI design. You can copy the templates and look into some features. But one thing about this Figma, as it were, is that even when you are using Figma and you are using a copied sample from community, there are a lot of things you still need to know, because there is international standard when it comes to user design guide, using the that you need to know. Okay, this is not a free template because the user has not actually released it, but as it were, you can go to your community and bring out if there are free templates. You can actually see and work around with. So you need to sit yourself down, because okay, let's say this is we have this. You can go to inspiration and let's look at some of these inspirations we have. I'm not going to look for a mobile app this time around. I'll look for a web project. Um, okay, let me look for a landing page. I can look for related landing page, and okay, let me see if this will be okay. Let me get a copy of this landing page. Now, the essence of UI and UX in a project is that you don't want to surprise, you don't want to keep surprising your customer or the project owner on your design. They want to go along with you and see each stage of the design process. So let me click on this. I'm using my port. When you have a design, if you are looking for an international market and say, okay, I can draw a circle, I can draw a rectangle, I can give it border radius, I can do this, I can do that, and start jumping into design like that. There are
Hello, sir.
yes, can you hear me?
Yes, you are back on, sir.
All right, thank you. So there is an international standard expected from everyone who call himself or herself a UI UX guy. A student of mine from Germany took a course from Coursera and later Googled for UI UX guides, and we found out comfort developers. And when we are taking the training, he made me to understand that most of the things we were talking about, the way we were explaining it works not the way they should. Now let's take a look at this. Look at this button. You don't just design button. If you are looking for a global market, you are going for a global audience, there is a standard for everything. This button, the space in between this button, the height of this button, you don't just measure it with your eyes. The padding from the top and this side, the size of this text, the height of all these things, what's it called, line height of all this. It is not something that you just pick with your own eyes right that and you got an employment. There is a global standard that you need to know, because if you have built your portfolio that these are works you have done, and your employer say, okay, no problem, I'm going to give you a job. Okay, what's the standard for all this your design? Already your employer knows the standard, and he can ask you to open your main project and see if you have actually followed the international standard guide. That's why a lot of people know they are migrating from graphics design knowledge to UI UX, and they thought they already know all they need to know because they already know how to use all of the tools. That's one aspect. Because if you are designing for a screen, let's say, for example, I'm designing for this MacBook Pro 14 inches, 14 inches screen. The size of the devices, the number of grid system, the number of columns that I will have on that is quite different. The way I will lay out my page, the margin that that I can have on it is quite different from the ones I can have on mobile phone. That is international expected guide for that. So that's on that. If you look at some of the things, now you can build. Now this is let me check the size, this frame size. So the width size, the height, the sizes I will have for each button. This a button that has icon on it. The space in between the background color, the icons, all these things are very, very important. These are one of the things that your employer will look into when you are being employed or when you are being given a project. So let me go ahead to my slides and let me show you some Was it early this week? There was a trending news about a lady who is earning $98,000 per year annually as a UI/UX guy from a project I think she ran into alcohol and all of that. There's a trending news of that lady that they spend most of her money on alcohol and things like that. Now, if you bring down $98,000 in 12 months, now you can Google it. How much does a UI UX designer earns monthly? An average of $6,634 per month. That is if you have the international guides and approach to things. Now, I will share some things with us. Of course, can you see my PowerPoint slide? So I'm going to share this. Okay. Now, these are where you can get remote jobs that you can get paid in salary. So I have just 10 minutes to go, and I want to maximize that 10 minutes because I already planned that it's not going to exceed 30 minutes. You have all of these. We have dailyremote.com. We have weworkremotely.com, hire.com, justremote.com, remoteleave.com, remote.co, producthunt.com/jobs, flexjobs.com, remote.io. So I'm going to open just one for us to see what is expected of us on the international markets. Okay, new share. So I'm going to open this and dailyremote.com. Now, dailyremote.coms are where you can get your. We have the likes of Fiverr, but you can see now, a freelance writer is needed. Then you work wide. You can see the effort. Let's see. But right now, what we are looking for is UI/UX. So let's see the UI/UX guy. So let's search for the UI/UX job that is available. All right, there's a job posted today by an auditing firm. Okay, I'm going to open this. They are looking for so let me see. They are looking for a full-time UI/UX guy. Okay, let me just okay, I have this now. The UI/UX developer is needed here. The place is United States. Was posted 2 months ago. The salary is undisclosed, and you can see it's a remote job. Now, if you want to apply, look at the job description. The UI design experience, UI design and development experience, JHS, development skill, view, and so what this company is actually looking for is beyond the UI/UX. They are looking more for something more than that. They are looking for more than that. And that is why they are asking you experience in JavaScript, the Vue framework, user testings, and some other things. So it was posted today. Let's look for other jobs that this was also posted today. You can see jobs is being posted every day, and it's not only you need it can be a remote job. Now UI design, iOS and all of that. You can see the experience is what SD, Sketch, Zeppelin, Abstract, and all of that. top 5 skill additional jobs that you're looking for. You can go through all this. So they are looking for someone who can use, you can see all the roles. Work with team on creative brainstorming, idea, addition, rapid prototype, and other problem solving with user experience and visual designer. The salary is also undisclosed. When you apply, they can disclose the salary with you. But we used to have some that disclose the salary. You can see these are jobs opportunity in the US. This is our system developer remote, directory, director of product design. Some of them doesn't disclose the salary. But let's look at this one that actually discloses salary. I think I saw one the other time with 60,000 or thereabout. So anyway, you can bid for any of these, and when you have passed the interview, you can discuss your salary. Most of these things are $4,000, $5,000, and all of that per month. And it's going to be a remote job. Your office will just be at home, and and all of that thing. You see, these are one of the things that a lot of people who are into UI UX, who are not only UI UX, if you know you are into tech, these are things you need to know. These are things you need to know. So let me move ahead and let me complete my slide because I have less than 5 minutes to go. I have less than 5 minutes to go. So we have a lot of all of these. If you can okay, these are where you can get jobs, remote jobs, and all of that. There are guides. Now, there are guides. There are things that the employer, want to see. You need to first, they need to see your career summary on your portfolio. You need to build a portfolio. They need to see your mission statement, your brief biography, your resume, the marketable skills that you possess, professional accomplishments, and your work samples. That is where a lot of people get it wrong. I met a lot of guys who want me to be their mentor as a UI UX guy, and they have not laid their hands on a complete project. All of my students in class, in the office, every day I used to let them know that, see, if you don't have a complete project, just forget the UI UX career. Not that I have created the landing page, I created the home page, I created 2 page, I created a complete job that has a good wireframe, that you will do the wireframe, and for yourself, you know that, okay, this is, and when you are, when you are showing it to the your employer, they will be amazed with all the animations, with all the components in place, with all your design structure, your documentations, everything. So it's very important for you to do that. So if you want to be a good, if you are bidding for any international jobs, you need to do that. Your work sample, the accomplishments, the role you played in the project, either a pre-project, either a freelance project, and all of that. Now, what other things are, these are other things you need to know. How do you get started? It is not about just jumping, it's not about just jumping to design and say, I can do that, I can do that. We have a complete system that we will take you through. Anybody can watch anything online, but I can tell you there is no video on the internet that is not a paid course that has everything you need to know as a UI UX guy. Now, in our courses, we take you through the introduction to the UI UX software. I can get started with Figma, how to work around the image shapes and tools, your text and your font, your layer, properties and settings, your plugin component and style, the prototype and animation, some collaboration tools, some branchings and the margin tools. We take you through it, and you have project that will guide you from A to Z. We have some of us who are currently working on projects now. We have some who just started, and we are guiding them through all of this. And some things you can get started by joining any of our training. We are running the last batch now, and we are offering a discount of 50% discount, 50% discount on the ongoing training. How you can build your CV, what you need to know on the international markets, and what you need to do, the type of confidence you need to display in your CV. So that's all. That's all. So I want you to know, if you are watching this video, to be a part of this ongoing training, just WhatsApp the number or send a mail to info@comfortdevelopers.com. Our team will be there to attend to you, takes you through the process of registration, the 50%, I can be a part of the 50% discount. And we have just 2 months left in the year 2022. And by next year, you'll be building your profile in January. And by the end of January, you should be applying for international remote job. All you need is your laptop and your internet